up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end.
And it's Tony Adams put through by Steve Ball. Would you believe it? Walter! Patrick Vieira is in for Arsenal and sweeps it home. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. He stripped it away from Carr. Henry!
It's time to go.
And good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. Still feel really rough at the moment, but life goes on. We have to go on. We have to produce it. I have to keep giving you shows every day if I can. And today, as normal on a Wednesday morning, we welcome our friend Daniel. Daniel, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Claude. Not too bad. I'm really good, mate. Looking forward to the show.
His channel, by the way, his channel is growing and growing, and his link is in the pin in the chat if you can see it. That's subscribe to Daniel's channel because it's very, very good, and he's had some very good guests on lately, haven't you, Daniel? You've had Fabrizio, Kevin Campbell. You've had some really good guests on there, haven't you?
Yeah, really good guests. So yeah, the channel's growing nicely. You know, like I say, I'm almost close to 2,000 subscribers now. So yeah, I'm literally in touching distance of that. Can see that on the horizon, and the content, got some great stuff lined up for the future as well. I've actually been a bit quiet this week on the channel because I've been replanning the schedule going forward, you know, which is going to be a long-term schedule. So I've been a little bit quiet of late. But yeah, the content's really kicking in. I've got some great things lined up. I'm also as well in the next couple of weeks, the audio versions is going to be up there on the Apple podcasts and that. So that's coming in a couple of weeks as well. So yeah, lots to look forward to. So everyone, please do check that out. Really appreciate it.
Lovely, and well done for that. Randy's come in with a super chat earlier, and he said Dan was a very happy man with that United win.
Bloody joker, mate. You talk about them more than I do. I think you've got a secret fetish, mate. Lockdown must be getting to you over there.
Morning to everyone in the chat as well. Daniel, I haven't spoken to you since the game on Saturday. Your thoughts on it, on the game, because everyone has had different thoughts on it. What were your thoughts? We were doing really well, and then suddenly a little bit of a setback Saturday.
Yeah, a little bit of a setback. I thought we were diabolical, Claude. Do you know what I mean? Like we're in complete control in that first half. We pretty much had Burnley down to a T, and then again, a bit like Benfica, we're architects of our own downfall. And Granit Xhaka, why he was not aware of his surroundings then, and why he passed it to the Burnley player, I'll never know. A lot of people are blaming Leno for that. I personally am not really blaming Leno for that. I don't listen. It's not Leno's fault that Granit Xhaka just wasn't aware of his surroundings. He could have just cleared it. He could have just booted it upfield, but instead he just plays it backwards like that to the Burnley player. So I'm not blaming Leno for that. But yeah, we also didn't take our chances, did we? We had a lot of chances. We didn't take them. And I just, after the game, Claude, I was just sat there thinking, and we are architects of our own downfall. We didn't need to make it difficult. And it was like watching the Benfica game all over again, where we had it, we're in cruise control, and then we just sort of threw it away a little bit. So we didn't need to do that. I'm just hoping and praying that we don't do that again. And I know Granit Xhaka's come out and apologised and that, but you know what? I'm sick of hearing these players' apologies. It's all well and good apologising. Anyone can apologise. But if you keep making the same mistakes again, over and over again, your apologies, it means nothing. So I don't buy these players' apologies. You know, apologise on the pitch. That's what we want to see. Save your apologies for when it actually matters on the pitch. Don't just... Anyone can put out a tweet going, oh, I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry this happened. Save your apologies for on the pitch.
There were some positives. I thought Callum Chambers didn't play quite well at right back.
Callum Chambers was decent. And I was a bit surprised at the start, Claude, when he come in. I was very, very surprised that Arteta went with him, because he's not had a lot of game time. He's not had a... You know, he's been out with injury, but actually he done really well. I thought he was decent, and he was one of the decent players on Saturday. And
Bert Leno coming to the rescue. Which I know they're going to give him a little fault for the goal, but he's passed it to Xhaka, thinking he's confident with the ball to do something with it. He's accepted that he could do it, and then Xhaka give it away. A lot of people blaming Leno for the goal. I don't give him any sort of blame for that goal, really, at all. I'll give it to Xhaka.
No.
But not,
you can't blame Leno for that goal. You can't. I'd like anybody in the chat to tell me how you can blame Leno for that goal. He passed it to Xhaka. It's then up to Xhaka to be more confident and efficient on the ball. Leno, you know, a lot of people say, yes, Leno could have hoofed it up field. He could have cleared it. But if you're playing out from the back kind of style, then you can't really blame Leno for doing what's required of him. Xhaka, on the other hand, he should be better with his surroundings. I'm sorry, you can't just if you're that far back and you're that deep, you've got to be aware of your surroundings. You cannot just not be aware of that.
Yeah, and also if you're blaming Leno, but that. Leno done the same thing, which got us the first goal in the first place. If you look at it, that was the same move that was the build-up for our goal, our own goal, which had Aubameyang scored. So I don't know how people are blaming him. It's ridiculous, and he pulled off two great saves as well. If it wasn't for those two saves, we might not even have got a draw out of the game. Although we did miss a few chances. There was that. What's your opinion on that penalty thing, Daniel? I mean, they're saying that we should have had a penalty, but
which one? Because there was two, wasn't there? There was one.
Second one. The second one was. I don't know how the referee even give it in the first place. The second one, when you could clearly see it's him on the chest there. But no, the first one with the first one where neither the referee or the VAR gave it.
So I'm obviously thinking of the different incident. Which one are we talking about? Because the one where it hits his shoulder, because that
where the Pepe hits it against his hand.
Hits it against it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. Did his hand come towards the ball, or was it just a case of the ball hitting his hand? Was it ball to hand or hand to ball? I think that's what it comes down to. If it was ball to hand, then I guess you could probably understand why they didn't give it. But if it was kind of like hand to ball, then it's a very difficult one, Claude. It depends on which way you look at it. The way my commentators were explaining it is that it was a bit of maybe half and half, but then that's just it's very difficult. If it was hand to ball, then it probably should have been given as a penalty. But I'm not entirely sure whether you can give a penalty if it was ball to hand.
Yeah. The thing is, the referee's not giving it, and the VAR's not giving it. So who's going to give it anyway? If the VAR don't give it either, so there's no real dispute really. You can't really dispute the decision because both of them decided that it wasn't. I think the laws of the game need to be changed a bit. I think there's a lot. I think even the referees are now getting confused with these laws now. They get too many changes. Yeah. And guess who's part of that committee? Yeah, of course you guessed it, Arsene Wenger.
Claude, did you see the game yesterday with Dortmund? With the Dortmund one, where they had a they brought it right back from a penalty. They had a chance. I think it was Dortmund or Juventus scored, but then they brought it back and gave the penalty or something and disallowed the goal. Did you see that, the Dortmund thing yesterday?
I didn't see that one. I was watching the Juve game. I was watching Juve Porto, which was an absolute cracker of a game. Really brilliant game of football, and Porto just in the end got the victory with 10 men. They really got dug out the victory. No, I was watching the Juventus game, but I heard about that. That seems strange. I'd have to watch that again myself before I can.
Yeah, I didn't see the incident. I just saw it. Somebody posted it on
I'll have to have a look
Facebook.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that. I'll definitely look at that later on. Where was I going with Randy's just come in again. He says, Daniel, like Taddy said, Mari signalled Leno to kick it out because he saw the danger. But Leno is brainless. Martinez would have kicked it out. Come on, Daniel. No, I disagree, Randy. I agree. I don't know what Daniel's going to say on this one. I disagree because when Leno put the ball out to earlier that led to our goal being scored, he played it. He played the same sort of ball, party, twist, turned, and went forward with it. Yeah. If he thinks he's going to do it again, he's expecting Xhaka to be able to control it and do what. Look, Xhaka's demanded the ball. Yeah, he's demanded the ball. So what's Leno going to do? He's putting the trust in the player to do it, Randy. So I don't know what do you think, Daniel? Do you agree with me on that?
Do you know what? Right? Yeah. Can we stop comparing what Leno does to what Martinez would have done? Can we stop doing that? Because we're like towards the end of the season, and I get it. I get everybody probably preferred Martinez. I get it, but how long can we keep banging the same drum before it just gets a little bit tiresome? Can we just stop with this? Oh, but Martinez would have done something differently. Oh, but Martinez would have done. It's done. It's finished. There's no going back from that. Just keep slamming Leno because Martinez would have done something different. Listen. I would have preferred to have kept Martinez. Don't get me wrong, but it's happened. It's done. We can't change that. Martinez is an Aston Villa player. Leno is still at Arsenal. So can we just stop comparing and going, oh, but Martinez would have done this. Martinez would have done that, because it's not going to change. And it's just, and let's be honest here, right? Yeah. We can't blame players that are no longer at the club. We can't say, oh, but Martinez would have done this. We can't keep making excuses for our poor failings. Do you know what I mean? We can't keep making excuses for our poor failings. Martinez might have done something different. We don't know that. We don't know that. That's just circumstantial, and it's just everybody's opinion. He might have done something different, and it might have caused us to concede the goal in another way. So listen, we don't know that. We don't know. But can we just stop with this comparison, because it's done. It's finished.
Yeah, exactly. I know, I couldn't agree more. Hope you guys are well and in good health, Bargo. The next 3 games will divulge our real character. Do you agree with that, Daniel?
Yeah, he's right. He's right. The next 3 games. I said that. I think I said this last week, didn't I, Claude? That I want to see what happens to this Arsenal team when we're under pressure. And if we can get a result when we're under pressure, because tomorrow is going to be no easy game. It's going to be no easy game. It's going to be a struggle from start to finish. Whether on paper it looks an easy game, it's not going to be an easy game, because as we've seen on Saturday, Arsenal always have the capacity to fuck up somewhere along the line. So it's going to be a bumpy ride. I hope you all fasten your seatbelts, because it is going to be a bumpy ride. And then obviously the North London derby, form goes out the window. It does. It really does. You can't really take form into a derby, because especially the North London derby, it just goes out the window. And then we've got the return leg against Olympiacos. So yeah, the next 3 games are it's gonna be make or break. After these 3 games, we could still have a season, or we could not have a season. So yeah, it's gonna be massive, absolutely massive for us.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. I totally agree. The next 3 games will show how we can cope under pressure. 3 big games coming up. The Tottenham game is still a big game for us, because it's a North London derby, and we don't want to be losing that. That's for sure. There's another one here. Steve Jenkins, Claude and Dan, which right back for you, Lamptey or Hakim? I like Lamptey. The only thing is now he's started to pick up injuries, which is a worry for me when you consider Arsenal's record with injured players. Yeah, I like Lamptey, though. I do like Lamptey. What about you, Dan?
Do you know the only thing, and I'm a big admirer of Lamptey, I think he's a quality player. But you know what, right? I was sat here thinking the other day, and I was looking at Lamptey's game, and I've seen him a lot, and he offers a lot going forward, and his pace is phenomenal going forward. But I'm not sure what he offers defensively. Like, I'm not saying that he's not a great player. I think he's a fantastic player, but there's a little bit in my mind that's kind of like, are we just getting rid of Hector Bellerin because his best attribute was his pace? He didn't really offer much going forward. He doesn't offer much defensively. And are we just not replacing him with another younger player? Now, I'm not saying that Lamptey is as bad as Bellerin. I'm just saying, what does he offer defensively, which is probably my only concern. But if he was to maybe improve his defensive game, I think it'd be a quality signing. And he can definitely offer something going forward.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Daniel, definitely. Looking at tomorrow night's game, would you keep the team around the same players? Would you bring anyone different in? Would you drop Xhaka for tomorrow's game? There are things that people are now suggesting that we should drop Xhaka for tomorrow.
He isn't going to drop Xhaka. He isn't going to drop Xhaka. I want to try and get Pepe in this side. I really want to try and get Pepe back in this side. I'd also maybe, if Smith Rowe is fit, bring him back, because there's talk that he could be available, if not for the entire game, but at least half of the game or a quarter of the game. Do you know what as well, though, Claude? Do you know what was worrying? And I saw this on Saturday, is that Saka looks a bit off it. He looks a little bit tired and leggy. And I'm just wondering if maybe, and he's a quality player, don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying don't include him in the squad, but I'm just looking at thinking maybe we should bring in somebody else, because we have to remember Saka is still only young, and I can just sense the pressure and the volume of games and what he's being asked to do, because he is our star player at the moment. Let's be honest. I'm just sensing a little bit of caution. I'm just sensing a little bit of pressure put on him. So maybe I would, to protect him and to protect his future, take him out the firing line a little bit, give him a little bit of a breather. Listen, we've got players who can come in and cover for him. I'm not saying don't give him any minutes, but maybe not the full 90. Listen, we've got players like Martinelli who can come in and do a job. We've got Pepe who can do a job. So that you know, there's options there. I don't want Saka to get burnt out, and the signs that you can see that he's maybe starting to burn out a little bit. And I think we need to get a grip of that situation before we run him into the ground too much more.
Yeah. Yes. By the way, morning Simpy. Morning to Simpy's in the chat. Simpy's in the chat, eh?
Big up Simpy.
Good, very good. Nice guy. Very nice guy.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy.
I know he helps you out a lot, Daniel. So
yeah, he does. He does. He helps me out an awful lot. So yeah, good friend Simpy. He's a good mate of mine, Simpy. So yeah, everyone go and check out his channel as well. Really great channel. Click on his name and subscribe to him. He's getting so close to 1,000. So yeah, go and give him. Puts a lot of effort into his content. So yeah, go and check out his channel as well. Brilliant guy. Yeah,
the thing with the Olympiacos game is that everyone is expecting us to win easy, but apparently they've made a couple of. They were very poor in the Champions League. The Manchester City beat them home and away. I think they got beat by Porto as well, but Porto are not too bad a side. So the only thing is that but I've been told since they've made a couple of additions to their squad, 2 good wing backs, which could cause us a lot of problems. They brought 2 new wing backs, and they could cause us some problems. Everyone is expecting we should go through this tie. I'm not so sure. I think this could be a 50-50 tie, really, Daniel.
Well, you know, everybody expected last season we should go through, and listen, look what happened there. So I nothing is ever easy with Arsenal at the moment. Nothing is ever easy. You know, we could all sit here and say, do you know what, we're going to go through comfortably, and then actually we're going to absolutely balls it up. And then we could be sitting here saying it's going to be a difficult game, and they could absolutely, it could be a walk in the park. So you just never know with Arsenal at the moment. You never know what team's going to turn up. And I'm not talking about the players on the pitch. I meant mentally. Are the team that are going to be up for the fight? If they're up for the fight, then we've got a good chance. But if we've got this roll over, tickle my belly attitude, then we're going to get absolute slapped. So it just depends on what Arsenal team turn up. And that's going to be the theme going forward in every single competition that we're in, which is the Europa and the League. It's going to be whichever Arsenal team turns up as to how well we do.
Well, I think a lot of our where we've dropped points or lost games is because of how can I say, stupid mistakes in games. It's just even Saturday, right? Up until there we were comfortable. Then we made them stupid errors, the unforgivable errors, and you don't understand how they can make them errors. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's going to be a big, massive test now of our character in the next 3 games. Do
you know, nothing's going to change, Claude, until we get rid of the culprits that are repeat offenders for making stupid mistakes. Well, until we can get rid of those players, the likes of Granit Xhaka, the likes of El Neni, the likes of Bellerin, till we get rid of those players and bring in some players that are better quality, then nothing's going to change because they've still got it in them. Doesn't matter. And I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, but Xhaka's been one of our best players this season. Xhaka's been this, Xhaka's been that. Xhaka's been what he's been for the entire for his entire Arsenal career. He'll have a series of good games, then drop a clanger. Then he'll have a series of good games, drop a clanger. Nothing's changed. He's not been any different to how he's been over his Arsenal career. So people need to remember that before they start going, oh, but he's this, he's been this, he's been our best player. He's been, since Partey's come in, he's been one of our improved players. He's been what he's been through his whole Arsenal career.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think that he shouldn't have been given a chance when he threw his armband at aubameyang and then put 2 fingers up to the crowd. I thought that was out. What's that? The news coming on there? The news.
Yeah, don't worry, mate. Notifications. I forgot to put my phone on silent before we went live.
That's all right. Still no coffee morning yet. Is that not happening yet?
No, mate. It's got cancelled today. I cancelled it. Mate. I was like, none of this. Do you know what I mean? It's like WI in this house at times. Do you know what I mean?
Oh dear. So the Spurs game on Sunday. How do you see that one going? They're on fire at the moment, aren't they? Tottenham, absolutely on fire. Bale, Kane, and Son. They're really developing them into a partnership, which is worrying. But I just get that feeling everyone is writing us off on that game. But I get that feeling, when they write us off, that we can pull it off. And it is the derby game, isn't it? As you said earlier, all form goes out the window, which is true. It does go out the window. Look at Manchester United, Man City. Who expected that on Sunday? Did they? No one expected that, did they? Sunday.
Do you know what, Claude? I've got this horrible feeling, and this is how mad football is right now, and this is how mad it's been over the last years. Do you remember? In 2019, when we played Chelsea in the league and we won 2-0, right? And everybody was hyping it up, and everybody was going, "Oh, listen, we got one over on Chelsea." And I was probably one of the only people that said, "Do you know what? This is going to come back to bite us on the arse," and it did in the Europa League final. And I have just got this horrible feeling that the similar thing's going to happen with Spurs. I can't put my finger on it, but I've just got this horrible, horrible feeling that we're probably going to beat Spurs on Sunday, and it's going to come back to bite us in when it matters in the Europa final or something, or later down in the Europa League.
I can't remember that game. Was that under Emery? You're talking about?
Yeah. It was under. I know it was under Emery.
We lost 3-2 at the Bridge, didn't we?
Yeah, and then we won 2-0 at the Emirates, and everybody was going, "Oh, have we turned a corner? Is this?" Right. And then I was one of the only people to say, "Do you know what? Let's all chill, because listen, this could come back to bite us on the arse," and it did in the Europa final. Because do you remember? It was us and Chelsea in that Europa final, and it was between either of us. And I said, "Do you know what? We're probably gonna get them in the final, and we're going to, listen. I couldn't have foreseen the calamitous final that we had, but I said, listen, it's going to come back to bite us, that result, and it did. And I've just got this horrible feeling that the same thing is going to happen again, because everybody's tipping. We've got us, Spurs, and United. Now, listen, United, I think, are going to drop out somewhere along the line. I honestly do. I know they're playing well at the moment, but I think they're going to drop out. And I've just got this horrible feeling that it's going to be between us and Spurs, and that we are probably going to get them at some point in the tournament. And if we win on Sunday, then it's going to come back to bite us on the arse when it matters. And this is why, and a lot of people are saying this, listen, our league's done and dusted, right? And I want to beat Tottenham as bad as anybody, but I would gladly sacrifice a win on Sunday if it meant winning in the Europa League or something, because we are going to get them at some stage. I think we are going to get them at some stage, and I can see that happening.
Yeah, I agree. I can't remember that game when we beat them 2-0. It's got out of my memory. Do you remember who scored in that? Because my memory's gone on that game.
Yeah, I think it was Ramsey. I think Bellerin got an assist in that game as well. I've got a feeling I think it might have been Ramsey and Aubameyang. I might be wrong. I know Ramsey got one of the. Was it the game? Was it when Ramsey went off injured? I know Ramsey went off injured in one of that. No, it must have been when he was coming back from injury.
I remember the 3-2 at the Bridge because They went 2-0 up, and then we went 2-2, and we should have.
Yeah.
We were really hammering them until, and then the half-time whistle came. We should have been 4-2 up. I remember that game.
Yeah.
And then they got. I think they scored in the second half. I forgot who was the Spurs.
Yeah, I remember that game. I remember that game.
I can't remember the game at the Emirates though. I cannot remember. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. And then we lost because I remember going into that final. I'm thinking, oh well, hold on a minute. I'm thinking they don't need it as much because they've already qualified for the Champions League. So I thought they'll be they won.
Yeah,
but they wanted it more than us.
That's what I'm saying, and I said it's gonna and everybody was celebrating the win in the league like we'd just turned a corner, and we were I don't think we were in as bad a position as what we are now this season, but we were in a similar position where we weren't really, you know, whatever happened, it didn't really matter. And I said, you know what? It's written in the stars that we're going to get Chelsea and they're going to absolutely turn us over. Maybe, you know, I didn't foresee the extent as to how the final played out, but I said, you know what? They're going to come back at us, and they did. And I've just got this horrible feeling, and I've just got this horrible feeling. Maybe it's because of that final and because the way it played out, but I've just got this horrible feeling that if we win on Sunday, it's not going to be the end of the story, and we're not going to have had the last laugh. I've just got that horrible feeling that, and I've said it before as well, that there's going to be a time where we are going to get Tottenham in our Europa League campaign. If we get through, we're going to get Tottenham, because I can't see nobody knocking them out. So whether it's the quarterfinal, no, we're in the quarters now, aren't we? So whether it's we're not. We're in the last 16.
Yeah.
So whether it's the quarterfinal, semi-final, or final, we are going to get Spurs at some point.
Do you know what, Daniel?
Unless they get United, unless they draw United, and then listen, it could completely change the complexion of the competition. But unless they get United, we are going to get them at some point.
Do you know what, Daniel? Someone's brought up a good point. He said we beat. I remember I was sitting next to you in this game under Emery when we beat. That was a terrific second half. That was when we beat Spurs 4-2. I was sitting next to you, wasn't I? Yeah.
I remember that game.
I'll never forget how aubameyang equalised. I was off my seat. I couldn't believe it. Jeez, what a goal it was. You know what I'm saying?
And the Torreira goal as well.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
4-2. Yeah, and we were losing because they got a penalty, didn't they? They went 2-1 up, and then we equalised second half, and then we just tore. We went last half an hour. We tore into them, and that was a good. That's a good Tottenham team that we beat that day. You know what? Coming to think of it, you know, it wasn't too bad under Emery. You know, we've got some bloody good results. You know, some good performances, and some of the performances under Emery I haven't seen under this guy, and.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Some of them performances under Emery were really good. I just feel that the players in the end, they just took the piss out of him, really. In the end,
and also, let's not forget as well, Claude, that Tottenham are a different. And I know there's going to be the ultra Arteta fans that are going to disagree with me, but let's not forget, Jose Mourinho's got a good record in Europe. When it comes to when it matters, he's a winner. So in a game that matters, he always tends to pull it out the bag. So we can't discount that. Listen, Arteta's got no experience of that apart from the FA Cup, which really is. Let's say what you want. Listen, the FA Cup's a great competition, but it's not the same as being at a European final or something, and being on a bigger stage. And Jose Mourinho's done it. You know, he's won the Europa League, hasn't he? He's won it. He won it with a very poor Man United side. It has to be said. So yeah, he's been there and done it. So we've just got to be mindful of that.
Right, let's see some of the questions. See some questions to be asked there. Hold on, let's have a look here. What's going on? Hold on, Daniel. Yeah, everyone thinks we're going to smash Spurs, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. Do you, Daniel?
It ain't going to be that easy. It isn't going to be.
What do you think with these no crowds, Daniel? It's not the same. I mean, I can't wait for the crowds to come back. Can you, Daniel?
Yeah, I can't wait, Claude. I can't wait for the crowds to come back. I can't wait just to go to a game of football again. You know, It's just it's getting to that point now, Claude, where I'm just the novelty of just football being back on is well and truly worn off. I find myself watching the games like I just want to be there. If I'm honest, I just want to be there. I want to be, you know, with the atmosphere and it's gone on. It's gone for long enough now. So yeah, hopefully, if all goes to plan, it should be next season. We should be back. So hopefully.
People are saying that's the reason we're not playing so well and why we're in 10th place. But it's for everyone, isn't it? You know, you can't make excuses like that.
No, I don't think it is, Claude. Right? Because let's be honest, the crowds don't. There's no question that their crowd lifts the players. But you talk to every professional footballer when they say when there's negative comments and stuff being thrown out in the crowd, every professional footballer will say, do you know what? We just concentrate what's going on the pitch. We don't pay no attention to stuff like that. Sure, the atmosphere, you know, is encouraging to them and, you know, they get a kick out of it. But listen, I don't think it makes much of a difference. And I don't think that can be used as an excuse because, like you said, everybody's in the same boat. Every team is in the same boat. I just find this idea of people trying to make excuses for our poor performances when there is no excuses to be made. You know, people would rather try and make excuses than look at the real problems. And then when all these excuses dry up, everyone's then going to go, oh, maybe these people were right about Arteta. Maybe these people had a point to say. But everybody's just trying to cling on to every possible excuse before looking at what's really going on with this club and looking at what's really wrong with us.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Daniel. You can't. At the end of the day, there should be less pressure because they should be able to feel less pressure without a crowd, isn't it? There, because you know what I'm saying. So they can. I think it works both ways. I think it helps certain players and certain players. I think the players who have got.
Let me tell you something, Claude, right? Let me say something, right? Actually, having no crowds has probably benefited Arsenal more because they're getting away with stuff that if crowds are in there, I'll tell you something now, they'll be getting more of a hard time than what they're getting now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just be careful what you wish for, isn't it?
Yeah, I also think that it benefits players that are not how can I say it? Ones that haven't got much confidence, that they haven't got the fear of the crowd to mock them. You know what I'm saying? So that helps in that way. But I think it balances out, mate. I think we can't say we're 10th because there's no crowds. I think that's ridiculous. I heard Tide this week going on about referees' agendas has cost us this season. We would be up in the top 4.
Really?
He's put a file out now for all the decisions that have gone against us. He's getting a file ready. So he says there's an agenda against Arsenal from the referees. I think it's ridiculous.
It happens to. Do you know what? I've heard a lot of people say this, Claude. A lot of people say this. It happens to every club. It's not just our club. There's no agenda against us. It happens to every club. Come on, seriously. Do you think referees wake up? Referees are just genuinely poor in this country. And I don't think... Listen, the referees are that poor. I don't think they can be consistent enough to have an agenda against Arsenal because they're clueless. You know, for a referee or an official to have an agenda against Arsenal, they need brains. And half of these referees don't have brains. So I don't buy that. I honestly don't.
No, I agree with you. I agree. So I think we're making too many excuses up. Someone's agreeing with me. Dan is right. He's calling him fraudetta. He's getting away with no fans and not shouting it. It's for his head. Yeah, but I don't know with our fans. I think the majority of our fans are accepting it. I think they accept Arteta. I think if Emery was producing this, it would have been it would be hell because look what he went through. Can you imagine if Emery was in charge? We were playing like this now. God.
Yeah. It's mad, Claude. I don't get it.
It's a free ride. I actually think, going by what I hear in social media, I think he gets a free ride from our fans. Arteta. I think he gets a free ride. I don't think it's the majority that think. I think the majority actually believe he's on the right track, and we've got the project is on the right track.
And let me say this right, yeah. If Arsene Wenger was still in charge and producing these performances, there'd be absolute outrage.
We were going mad when we were fifth under Arsene Wenger, weren't we? So
yeah, so it's mad. It's honestly, I don't know what's going on. And you know what? I've said it as well, Claude. We've got to be very, very careful going forward as well, because I've said it right. And how many times have Arsenal fans and Arsenal podcasters sat on YouTube and said, you know what, we have absolutely lambasted Tottenham for living off their success like in the 60s and that, you know, living off their saying, oh, they haven't got no history, they haven't got. You know, we've got to be very careful because we're turning into that. We are actually turning into that. I've seen more people go, oh, you know, but we've got a great history. I appreciate our history. We've got fantastic history. But I'm more worried about the here and now and the future. I'm more worried about what's going on now. Our history is fantastic, but we can't change that. And it's great. We've got some good, some bad. I'm more worried about the here and now. And we've got to be very careful that, you know, we're in a glass house and we're not in any position to start throwing stones. So we've just got to be very, very careful going forward.
Yeah, Stephen Featley. Yeah, Stephen, I'll tell you what, while Daniel's on here as well, he blames the conspiracy by refs and Arsenal fans are embarrassing, weak-minded because they can't accept we are. Well, in fact, stop blaming everyone else and start looking at ourselves. This is very true, Stephen. Thanks for Stephen. If I send you, I'd like you to come on for a couple of minutes and explain about, because I've not had a chance to put your charity forward. Can you? 1 minute. I'll just send the link forward, which me and Daniel were on this week. Last very good calls. I'm just going to get Stephen on here for a minute.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. Listen, it's very good calls. Very good charity.
Let's get Stephen on here while we're on here, because it's one that I really do believe in, because kids are our future and everything else. So Stephen, if you want to join, if you can come and join us for a couple of minutes and to explain the charity to our friends in the chat. Yeah, so he's saying, because there's why everyone is blaming the conspiracy. Yeah, give me 5 minutes, right? why are people keep going on and start looking at ourselves? We are getting like that. I saw a lot of these fan cams going on about it last week, and it's continuing on a certain channel as well. It's continuing it to carry on going on at referees this, referees that, decisions. But we have to look at ourselves. If we're not, we should have been 3 or 4-0 up, at least 3-0 up before they scored on Saturday, and the game would have been. No one would have discussed it.
Yeah.
If we'd have put our chances away, which that's our job to, right? If we put our chances away, no referee decisions would affect the game. We didn't, and that's what we're there to do. So we got $100,000 a week footballers that can't put their chances away. You can't keep blaming the referees if we get beat. But excuse me.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, right? I've seen a lot of people on Twitter as well laughing at Man City because Man United, done a number on them, and it's sort of like, well, listen, we need to get our own house in order before we start criticizing other people's, because I know that football is all about banter and everybody banters everybody, and when it comes to a North London derby, listen, all bets are off. But there comes a point where you just have to look at yourself, look at your own club, get your own team in order before you start bantering other people, because what happens is you banter them, and then when we have a calamitous moment again, which is going to happen because that's what we do, that's how we roll. When we have a calamitous thing, we're going to get it back tenfold, and it's just, we need to start looking at our own problems rather than laughing at other people's problems, because we've got an awful lot of problems. We've had an awful lot of problems for the last decade, so we just need to start looking at ourselves a little bit more.
Sorry, my phone's going off now. I didn't even ask him for the information. Don't worry, that's coming up on my phone.
You got a hot date lined up, Claude.
I wish that. I don't think no one will put up with me, mate. I tell you. Let's have a look. I think we got him in the chat. I think. Let's have a look. Good morning, Stephen. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You all right?
Yeah. Good morning. Can you explain your? Can you tell everyone about your great charity work you've been doing? Because me and Daniel were on your show on Friday, and we're quite. I'm sure I can speak with Daniel as well. Quite enjoyed the chat we had on Friday, and we had a good laugh, didn't we? And
yeah, absolutely.
Can you explain to everyone what your charity work and what it means?
Yeah. So, Children's Liver Disease Foundation was set up by pretty much a group of mothers way back in the 90s, and essentially what it does is provide support for families with children affected with liver disease. It also provides research to try and sort of find better treatments, better cures, better all-round treatment for children with liver diseases, because there's so many different types. And yeah, and also just in general, if you look at their website, for example, they, instead of going to a Wikipedia site and you see Latin rubbish and that you don't understand, they do it in basic English, sort of just break it into layman's terms and make it easy to explain and make it easy for families to be able to cope, manage. And it's now also set up a network, like a Facebook group for kids to talk to each other so they don't feel alone. And that's really what I'm trying to do, is trying to give what I've got from my research, from my experience, and try and give them back sort of any advice, any tips that how to best manage their condition and cope with it.
Okay, and how much have you raised so far, Stephen?
From that stream, we made about over £250. And in total, from when we started with the original stream that we did about a year ago, we've raised £1,348.
That's brilliant, isn't it? That's well done, and well done to everyone. And you're looking to get it up to 2,000, and you
at least 2,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, at least 2,000. That'd be brilliant. What a great cause that is. You know, I mean, it's so important that people understand that this is the future. Children are the future. They're the future of the world, and it's important that we can. How are you getting on with your health, Stephen? By the way, I mean, because this is it's affected you quite a lot. How's your health been?
It's not been too bad. I mean, I'm busy streaming, so as long as I'm busy streaming, I'm perfectly okay. Then, as well as I can be. They can't seem to do much, so they just keep me stable with palliative sort of care. So it's not saying I'm dying or anything. It's just saying that they're keeping us stable with regular infusions every week. They hopefully put a line in so I can do it at home again. And just any sort of symptoms that ever come up, they just find sort of any sort of things to deal with. And also with the actual general problem itself, we're now looking at sort of any sort of vitamins or something that can help, because surgically they can't do anything at the moment because there's no access to keep me alive whilst in surgery. So I'm pretty stuck at the minute, but it could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I can understand. Is there a thing where does this now mean for the rest of your life now you have to be on this, or will there be a time where actually you'll be free of it, or is it going to be for the rest?
In terms of actually dealing with my liver condition, that's with me from now on. But and taking meds every day and stuff like that, it's just with the considerable problem that I've got now with having infusions every week. They don't. The longer this goes on, the less chance they're going to fix itself. So they hope that it can fix itself in time, or the vessels can come back open and they can do surgery with it again. But like I said, the longer it goes on, the less chance it's gonna happen. So at the minute, it's just sticking with it. At the minute.
Oh, you have to put up with every day thinking like that, man. I don't know how you do it, mate. Well done. You've shown a lot of courage there, mate.
And if people can donate, Stephen, where can they go and donate?
You can either donate. You can either donate to the Children's Liver Disease Foundation website, or you can. I've set up a Just Giving page. That's if you go into my channel, and every video description, it has the Just Giving page link in the video description. Just click on that, and you can donate whatever you can. Any little helps, and you don't even have to be like named. You could be anonymous. So, any little helps.
Brilliant, yeah.
And it's like I said, you say how I cope. It's mostly my mum's my carer. I live with my mum. She's my carer, and without her, and also my sister as my sister, not as much as we argue, I wouldn't be here. Simple as that.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Because it affects the whole family, you think. See.
Yeah, it can also affect mental health as well. I suppose I don't know if you suffer from mental health as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've from the trauma I've had, I've got post-traumatic stress disorder. I can have nightmares over it. So, yeah, I mentally have my own issues to deal with. But just generally myself, my best way is, as much as like it's wrong, we can moan about it, and what can you do about it? You just get on. You just got to find a way to get on with it, and just sort of laugh and try and banter and take your mind off things.
Yeah, you showing while you're here, prediction for tomorrow, Stephen? Big game tomorrow.
I'm not confident at all, especially after drawing against Burnley. God. I said a 1-1 draw originally, so I'm going to stick with that in a minute.
Good man.
I'm not confident.
Everyone, by the way, everyone in the chat, if you want to, please, any little help, even if it's £1, £2, whatever it is, any little helps. Put that into it's the Children's Liver
Disease Foundation.
Children's Liver Disease Foundation. And if you follow Stephen Featley on Stephen Featley TV, you'll get everything there in front of them, wouldn't they? So anyway, Stephen, Daniel, thank you very much for coming on today.
No worries, mate.
Thank you, everyone in the chat. And don't forget, please, any little contribution you can make to this very brave guy. I mean, brave, courage, and look what he's doing with it as well, doing this charity work as well at the same time. Fantastic. Please help him out. Please contribute. It'd be a wonderful thing to do. Thanks. Thank you, Stephen, for coming on and doing that. Thank you, Daniel, for coming on as well. Always a pleasure, Daniel.
What's that? Say that again. Sorry, Claude.
Always a pleasure having you on, Daniel.
Yeah. Listen, I really enjoyed coming on.
For the week ahead, try and enjoy the game tomorrow, boys.
Don't forget, guys, do check out my channel as well, and check out Stephen's as well. So
definitely. Stephen TV. Also, Daniel's channel. Check it out. Now, is it the Blind Gooner, the channel?
Yeah. So the link is pinned. So just click on that, and it's actually in the title as well. I've seen it. So click on the name, and it takes you in there. So you click on that.
There we go. All right then. Take care, everyone. Speak to you all soon. Probably tomorrow. Who knows?
Come on, you guys.